Welcome to Why Do You Like? I'm Vinny, and I'm joined today by Ruby. So, Ruby, what are we going to be talking about today?
We're going to talk about 90 Day Fiance.
So, what is 90 Day Fiance? Explain the concept of the show.
So it's like people that chat with people around the world. They're from America, and then they talk to like foreign country people from foreign countries, and they like fall in love with them supposedly, even though they only know them for a short amount of time, and then they ask them to marry them, so then they can bring them over to America.
All right. So, why do you like 90 Day Fiance?
I guess because you get to see how other people um like how dumb other people are and like how desperate they are to find love. It's just kind of like sad, but also like really entertaining to see everything that they go through in order to be able to bring supposedly like their love of their life to America. And
Mm-hmm.
there's always like problems, and there's always like the family of the Americans telling the main person that they feel like the person they're trying to bring is just after their money or after like a green card. So I feel like that's always like interesting to see like how they react to that information, or how they if they listen to the family or not, because I feel like sometimes they don't really want to listen to their family, so they just do what they want to do, and they're not influenced. But then there's other people that like are really influenced by what their family tells them, and then they like sabotage their own relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like interesting to see how that happens.
Would you describe this as like junk food TV?
I guess so. I feel like it's one of those shows that you just chill on the couch, and you could sit there for hours just like watching episode after episode, and like you don't have to like think too much because you're just kind of like you're just watching like the disaster on the TV. Just
uh-huh.
like it's just easy to just sit there and be entertained by.
All
So
right.
yeah.
Let's talk about George and Anfisa. All right. So do you want to explain kind of who they are, what their deal is?
Yeah. So George, I think he's from
He's
California.
from he's from Riverside. I have that here.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's like from somewhere like close by, so Riverside. And Anfisa is a Russian, and they met. I guess he went on vacation to Europe or something. So he went to vacation over there, and like he met her. I guess I don't know how they happened to like like meet, or how, but they did. And then she was showing him around Russia, and like she was obviously like very attractive and very young and skinny, and like he's overweight. He doesn't look like too hot himself. She seemed to be, maybe like she had that mentality that like she wanted to meet an American and have a better life. And so like when he was there visiting, they got to know each other, and like she was pretty upfront with him about it, and she told him that, or she asked him like, how much money do you have, like, if I were to go with you to America, like I would want to be like taken care of, like I and he told her like, yeah, like I'm like a millionaire, like I have like millions. And so she was like, oh, okay, like she was interested into that. And then he asked her to marry him, and so then they started the whole 90-day fiance visa K1 process, which is like once you are engaged to somebody in a foreign country, you can apply for a visa to bring them to America, so that they can then continue on and like apply for their green card, and like eventually they could become like a citizen. So that's what he did. He proposed to her, and then he brings her over, and then like right after she comes to America, she starts to realize that he lied about how much money he had, because like she would ask him for like a lot of expensive things like on a daily basis, and even for like an allowance. I think she wanted like at least like $10,000, like I think like weekly or something like that. And like he was like, I can't afford that. And she's like, you're a millionaire. Like you told me you have like millions of dollars. Like what do you mean you can't afford this? And then the truth came out that like he told her he was actually like in debt. and yeah, like he just like wasn't truthful to her. And then I feel like the show kind of made Anfisa look like she was like a gold digger, but if you pay attention to the beginning, like she was pretty honest that like that's what she wanted, and it seemed like they had an agreement like based off that she's an attractive girl, and like he's getting what he wants, having like a hot girlfriend, and then she's getting what she wants, which is like money to be the hot girlfriend that he wants, because she also wants like plastic surgeries and like she wants to look hot, and so I guess that costs money.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask. So like, Anfisa was very honest about what she wanted. Like, is like, obviously, I'm not like defending when she like keys his car and shit like that. But
Mm-hmm.
like, is she bad because she was 100% honest about what she wanted? Like, I
Yeah.
I don't know if is she bad for that?
I feel like she's not bad. And honestly, like I really like her as like a person. And like when she were to get mad and there was like times where she like striked him, like she like slapped him like on the head or like yeah, did like crazy things like that. And I feel like he pushed her buttons to a certain point and she felt like I don't know, like she had nowhere to go and she was like trapped, you know, like thinking like she was gonna have like this amazing life, he was gonna have a lot of money, and like he just lied to her. So I feel like she has the right to be upset.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but like, I mean,
Yeah.
she is like pretty crazy though. Like, she did like his car and broke like a bunch of his phones, and like there's a bunch of like, crazy shit she would do too though. Like, she definitely wasn't like
Yeah.
100% good, but I don't think the big deal people make about her is that she's like a gold digger. But she's 100% honest about wanting money, so it's like, I don't know if I feel bad about that.
Yeah, I don't feel too bad about it. He's
Uh,
kind of annoying too. He didn't like defend her with like his family, like his sister. There was like this one part when the sister said, um, when after Anfisa found out that he like had all this debt and she kind of like left him, she went to live like in a different apartment. And then the sister, they were like met up to have like brunch or something, and it was George, Anfisa, and his sister. And the sister was saying like, oh, like just because like so now that he doesn't have money, you don't want to spread your legs or something like that. And like he didn't say anything, and he just like sat there like a freaking potato. And then like she got really upset. So I feel like on top of it all, that like he was in debt, he was like a liar. He didn't even defend her. Like I feel like that was like super disrespectful to say. He
yeah.
didn't say anything.
So
So.
I'd watched this one clip where it's like, George and Pisa, and they're in like a restaurant or something, and then
Mhm.
like he's saying that like, oh yeah, like I don't have much money or whatever, and then
Mhm.
she's like getting mad at him. She's like saying like, oh, like you lied to me, and then he's like, oh, like you just want me for my money or something like that, and then she says, yeah, and then like the show tries to paint it in this like I don't think the show really tries to paint it, but I think at first it comes off as like, well, that's pretty shallow of her. But and then right after,
Mhm.
she totally calls him out on his bullshit, and she's like, "Would you want me if I was like fat and ugly?" And then
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, if you were still you." And then she just like gives him this look like, "Shut up, dude. You're just such
Yeah.
bullshit." Like, yeah,
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like they had an agreement. Maybe they didn't straight up say it like based off her looks, but I feel like it was pretty obvious that like he wanted to be with her because she was attractive, and she wanted to be with him because he supposedly had money. But I feel like as you watch the show and like their story, I feel like you can see that like Anfisa, like she's not just this like cold-hearted person, because like she admits later that she was actually a virgin. Like she had never supposedly like had sex with anybody before George, which is like pretty shocking. And I feel like a lot of people don't believe that because of the way that she presents herself. But if that's true, then I feel like that kind of like that makes you think that maybe she's like, I don't know, like what they have is more special than what they um are like making it seem to be. You know what I mean? Like she
uh,
actually cares more about the relationship than she wants to like make it seem, because she's like this, she wants to make it look like she's like cold, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like but really inside she's still like, I guess, wants to find true love, but at the same time she does want a better life for herself, so she does want a green card and she wants to live like well. So yeah, I feel like there's more to the story.
Yeah. Okay, so do you think a relationship like that can actually work if both people are 100% honest with each other? Where the guy's like, "Hey, look, I just want you because you're hot, and like that's it. And then she's just like, I just want you because you're money, and that's it. Do you think that's possible for a relationship like that to work?
Well, like I said, with them, I feel like there was more to it. But
This
if you're
is
asking, like,
at the beginning. Like I don't know. Obviously, we don't really know the relationship like after they got married or whatever. But like at the beginning, this is 100% what it was. Like she says that, and then it's like that's why he wanted her too.
yeah, but like I said, I feel like there's more to it behind what the cameras are showing. Like I feel like she did care for him, and it for some reason I felt like there was like an attraction there. Like even though he was like kind of like like not the most attractive person, and I'm sure she knew it, I feel like there was still some attraction there.
Mhm.
And you could sense it, and you're just kind of like, okay, like that's what made me like them as a couple, because I felt like there was they cared about each other, but in probably like a very toxic way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, do you think a relationship like that could possibly work?
Yeah, I feel like it could work, but like they have to be like honest all the time. Like they can't just be honest like for like that alone and say like, yeah, like I'm with you because of that and you're with me because of that, and then lie to each other like for the entire relationship, because that's what George was doing. Like he lied to her for other things too. So
Yeah.
then that's why she was like it didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if he was honest, I feel like that could have like honestly worked out, and they could have been married for like many years.
Maybe.
Because it's like a freaking like transaction. Like they're getting what they want. You know what I mean? And it's like
Well,
if you respect each other and don't cheat on each other and like like are honest, that could go a long way.
like even if he didn't lie to her, like I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure when she like break his phones or key his car or whatever, that wasn't always because he like lied to her. That was like for other stuff where he was like, no, like I don't want to
No,
buy this
no,
for you or something.
it was like she was upset. Like the time that she, let's see, I can't specifically remember, but I feel like there was like a time when she was like blowing up his phone and she was like yelling at him, and it's because he told her he was going to go to the garage and that he was going to be right back. And then she goes out to the garage and he's like gone and his car is gone. And so she's just like, what the heck? Like, where is he? And I think he even turned off his like location because he went to go talk to the divorce lawyers and he didn't want her to know. And he was telling her that like everything was fine and that he loved her and everything. And then he was going to go like consult with divorce lawyers. Mm-hmm. So when she was like, where are you? She like blows up his phone and she's like yelling at him. And she's like, acting like crazy, supposedly it looks like it. But at the same time, it's like, he lied to her, and wouldn't you be worried if like your boyfriend or husband tells you like, I'll be right back, I'm going to the garage, and then they're gone, and you're just kind of like, where did he go? Like, I thought he was gonna be right back and his car's gone. Like, where in the world is he? And like, why is he lying to me? And he's being so suspicious, like hiding from me. I feel like I would get upset too, and yeah. I don't know. So I feel like I said like it's called for. I feel like it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about Ed and Rose. And I got a question. Is Ed real? I don't understand how somebody like this exists. Like,
what do you mean?
There's so much about him where it's just like, how is this possible? Like, he puts mayonnaise in his hair because it hurts his scalp or something like that. Like, yeah. Oh my god, what a mess of a man.
I mean, I feel like people do those things, but they don't like show it on the internet.
I've never once. Have you ever put mayonnaise in your hair? I've never once even thought about doing this.
I've never put mayonnaise in my hair, but there are people that make like masks with like egg whites, and so I feel like how is that okay? That's weird too, but people do it. They put avocado in their hair.
I've never heard of any of these things, but because the whole thing was that it was like hurting his scalp, but isn't that like what you use the conditioner for?
Yeah, but I don't know. There's different stuff out there. But aside from the mayonnaise stuff, like I feel like he's just a really dumb person, like very like naive and very like immature person. So I don't know.
And then how he like lied about being like he lied about his height, or he was misleading about his height, and just like there's so many things where I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah.
What a weird guy. All right,
you
ready for me to defend Ed though? You ready?
Okay. What?
I don't think people should make fun of his neck. I think that's not cool.
Oh yeah, no, I felt really bad about that because when watching the show with my mom, the whole time she was just like, "Oh, he looks like a frog," and I'm just like, "Dude, he was born like that." Like, and she's like, "He just looks so disgusting. Like, where's his neck?" And I'm just like, "He was born like that, like over and over again." But I feel like his personality is so shitty that then like you just feel kind of like you want to talk crap about the way that he looks too, because you just feel like you have no respect for him.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where like there's so much more, there's so much other things to make fun of him for that he chose to be like putting mayonnaise in his, yeah, in his hair and stuff like that. But, like
Hmm.
I don't know, we shouldn't make fun of his like condition or whatever you'd call that.
Yeah.
Do you
Um,
have any favorite like clashes or any favorite like moments from the show in general?
one of my favorite moments from Ed is when he asks Rose, like, when he asks her, like, how to say kiss in Tagalog, and then she says it's halik, and then he's like, may I halik you?
Yeah.
I feel like that part always makes me laugh, because it just sounds, like, so weird. Like, it almost sounds like he's asking her if he can, like, lick her, just, like, in English, but, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then, I don't know, like, the whole Ed and Rosemary story is very entertaining to watch, and it's really sad for Rosemary because I feel like she was open to the way that he looked, first of all. You know what I mean? I feel like he looked very different with his
Hmm.
disability and stuff. Not everybody wants to date somebody that looks different. So she was like open to that. And she was open to like the age difference. And she was like she gave him like so many passes. Like he was disrespectful like in several occasions. And she was like, very forgiving. And then he just like was always asking her like to tell him the truth. And I felt like she was, but I feel like in the end he was the one that was not telling her the truth. And so it was really like annoying to see him constantly like doubting her and saying like, "Oh, I feel like she's not being honest, like she's not telling me about her past." When like if she only knew like that he didn't want to have kids, and that's something that she said many times like was her dream. And like I don't know, like he lied about his height, and then like he was like rude to her, like he told her that like her breath smelled, and then she told him like it's because like she had an ulcer, so I guess like that's why like her, or I guess like it makes like it makes her breath smell, but it's not like hygiene
Okay,
problems.
I got a question. How do you tell your partner that the breath smells without it being rude? Like how could he go about that in that scenario without it being rude?
um
Also, wait, did he
I
know about the ulcer at that point or no?
they weren't very clear about that. I guess you could say that he didn't know, because like if he had known he probably wouldn't have done that. But yeah, like the way he did it I feel like is probably like okay, but it was still like I guess embarrassing for her. He gave her like a toothbrush and like toothpaste and like mouthwash.
Yeah, because
Like I
like the fact that he did it like on camera, you know what I mean? Like
don't.
he
Hmm.
could have like when the cameras are off, he could have been like, "Hey, Doug, like I'm be real with you, like your breath sucks," you know?
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know. I feel like the cameras are there like most of the time.
Hmm. Well, they
Um,
have to have some moments of privacy, like because
I
didn't they
guess.
have sex? Like it was another thing. The
Yeah,
camera's definitely not there when they're having sex, so.
yeah. I guess, but yeah, that was like pretty rude. And then like he embarrassed her, and she still like
Uh,
forgave him. Like she just tried to like move on from those things. So I feel like it's because like she just wanted to like she wanted love. Like she didn't want to like focus on like negative things. She just wanted to like move on and like just like forget about it. But he was very like pushy about like knowing about like her past relationships and stuff, and she didn't really feel like talking about it. And
mhm.
then at the end like he's honest with her and he tells her like that he didn't want to have kids, and like that's what was the breaking point. And she like leaves him and she tells him off. Like, she tells him that she doesn't really think that he ever cared about her, and that like he lied to her, and that yeah, just basically like he was like a shitty person. And then
Yeah, 'cause,
she leaves.
there's that part where he's like, "Am I a bad person?" She's like, "Yes."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I feel like that point, like, I don't think she really meant it. Like, I think that she was just like done. You know what I mean? She was just like, I don't
Yeah.
even care anymore. Like, I told you what I have to say, like how I feel and everything that you did. And like, if you want to ask me if you're a bad person, maybe you feel like you're a bad person. So like, yeah, sure, like you're a bad person. And then that was it. And the advice that his mom gives him is like so pathetic. Like when she picks him up from the airport and they're going back home, and he tells her like, yeah, like things didn't work out with Rose. She's just like, oh, like she calls him Pony, and she's like, oh, Pony. She's just like, you just gotta like move on. You just have to like look in the future. and just keep going. Don't give up. Just like, like, and I'm just like, what the heck? Like, that is like the worst advice you
Wait,
can give
how's
somebody.
that worse advice? What do you mean? I don't
Because
understand.
it's just so like superficial. Like, it's just like, okay, yeah, of course he has to move on. Like, of course, yeah, like just look in the future. But it's like he just went through like so much. He went all the way to the Philippines. He went through like this, like obviously like he had a lot of faults, but like, and I don't know, but like it's just like the dumbest advice you can give somebody. Like, of
I don't
course
think
they
that,
need to move
well, because
on.
a lot of
I
people
don't know.
dwell in the past. So I think she's just saying that, like, hey, like, don't, like,
Yeah, but it's like you want to talk to somebody about something, and then they're just kind of like, oh, I know you went through a hard time, but you just gotta look in the future. You just gotta like,
well,
like
because she doesn't know anything that happened yet. Because like that show hadn't aired by that time when she
he
kicked him
tried
out.
to he kind of explained it to her a little bit.
Yeah, on like
Like,
the
I know
car
it's
ride home,
hard.
he
Yeah,
can't explain
yeah,
everything. Like that's just not gonna
yeah.
be
I know
gonna
it was
work
pretty
out.
vague the way he explained it. Like, I was just like, okay, that's like so condensed, but like,
He's like, just watch the
yeah.
show, mom.
Yeah.
All right,
So I was just
are
like,
there
oh
any good
god.
couples on the show?
Mm, I feel like there's one, I guess, that is like okay. Maybe there it's what's I can't really think of their names. Okay, so I think the girl's name is Karini, and then the guy's name, gosh, I can't remember. It's like the newer season I'm watching right now. But like he went all the way to the Amazon to meet her,
Mm-hmm.
and later he explains to her that he has like a criminal record, and like that seems to
This is
be
not starting out good.
yeah, okay, I know that doesn't sound good, but like he's honest with her and he tells her about it, and that's like a huge thing like weighing on him. And after he tells her, he kind of has like a mental breakdown, and he's just kind of like, I don't want to like I can't deal with your reaction, like, and she wasn't even reacting poorly, she was just kind of like shocked, and he was just like acting like he was gonna like jump off into like a river kind of thing that they were nearby. And she was like, oh, his name's Paul. So she was like, oh, like, Paul, please, like, talk to me, like, I'm okay with it, like, I accept you and stuff. But he was just like having a mental breakdown. And then, but after that, then I feel like things are okay between them, and like they're actually like planning on getting married. Like, he like proposes to her, she says yes. Then she like tells him that like she wants to start a family, and there are like some bumps here and there, kind of like Ed. It reminds me of him because like he asks Rose to do like an STD and pregnancy test, and that like offends her, and it's like a huge problem because like obviously like he doesn't trust her, and she finds it like disrespectful and offensive. And Ed doesn't want to do the test. Like, he says like he'll do it, but in America. When she asks him, she's like, okay, I'll do it, but like you have to do it too. And he's like, in America, like, I don't want to do it here, I don't trust it here. So that's kind of like a double standard, that he didn't want to do it, like in front of her. And same thing with Paul. Like, he asks the girl Karini to do the same thing. He asks her for like
Mm-hmm.
the STD and pregnancy test. But with them, it's different. Like, I feel like she's so chill that like it doesn't turn into this like huge argument and like almost like breaking point like it did with Rose and Ed. Like, when that happened, I was just like, they're done. Like, that relationship, like, he messed up so bad. Like, she has a right to be upset. Like, I could see her like never wanting to see him again. But then with Karini and Paul, he asks her and he says like, I would like for you to take a pregnancy test, just to make sure, like, I know like this sounds crazy. I know that you think it's unnecessary, but like I have had like women lie to me, and I have had girlfriends like tell me that they were expecting like a child, and then in the end it wasn't mine. So I just feel like I am like, triggered, like I have had a bad experience, so would you please do this for me? And I know that it's not right, but like, if you could just do it and then we can move on. And she did it, and it obviously was negative, and then they moved on, and like they were okay with everything. And then like they moved on with their relationship. But then he has to come back to America because that's how he can only be there for a short amount of time, and then he had to come back and like make money so he could go back again. So when he comes back and he's in the US for a few months, when he returns back to the Amazon, he asks her again to take another pregnancy test. And she seems kind of like I guess more upset the second time, because she's okay. The first time she did it, like she gave him like she's just wanted to make him feel comfortable. And then like the second time, it's just like, okay, well, we've been together for a few months now. Like, why are you don't trust me still? And he was just like, he said it was because he saw that she was messaging people on social media, like handsome friend, like kissy faces and like stuff like that. So that made him think that maybe she was trying to get at like other Americans. So he made her like do a pregnancy test again, and she was upset. But again, like she was chill, and she was just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Like it's gonna be negative, and she did it, and it was. And then he was like, I'm sorry, and then she was like, it's okay, I guess. But like she was annoyed, but like there's different kinds of personalities that I feel like are better than others, because if she had reacted like crazy, then their relationship would have like, it would have ended. But like she reacted calmer, so they were able to like get over that.
All right, I just want to make sure you understand that your example of a good couple was a guy who lied about having a criminal record and
Yeah.
then made her get a pregnancy test every time he saw her. I just want to make sure we understand.
Well, yeah, but I feel like there's way worse situations, Like, in that case, like, she's being faithful, right? That's a plus. She's not reacting, like, negatively about his crazy demands. Like, she's very
but he has crazy
forgiving,
demands.
understanding.
That's the thing.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, she's going on the internet and messaging, like, guys, like, those, like, emojis and stuff. Like, I feel like that's questionable.
This is not, yeah, this doesn't sound good at all.
I'm just saying, there's worse situations. And every couple has problems. Every couple goes through, like, difficult situations. But I could definitely see them, like, having a family. And, like, I mean, obviously it's going to be chaotic. May not be, like... And he doesn't speak Portuguese. She speaks... Like, she doesn't speak any English. And so they only communicate with, like, via a translating app on their phone.
This does not sound good at all, dude. What are you talking about? This does not sound good.
I wish I could give you a better story, but that's the best I could come up with. There's just way worse situations.
All right, I want to talk about Lauren and Alexi. Do you remember them?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I feel like this
this is like I forgot about them. I forgot. Okay, I feel like they're good. They're a good couple.
Okay, well, I don't think they're. I was gonna say this is like a weird reverse trope thing where it's usually like the guy that's like thirsty and he's going after some like hot foreign girl, and then she's like thirsty as fuck for the Alexi dude, and then she's like the guy in the situation,
True.
And then like
they're a pretty good couple.
Wasn't she trying to get him to be like an underwear model or something? Wasn't that a thing?
Oh yeah, she thought like he could be like a model and like maybe like that's how he could make his money in the US. But he wasn't interested in that. He didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean in the end like they didn't really have like major issues other than the fact that I think she like lied to him during like the bachelorette party. Like he didn't want her to like go to a strip club, but she wanted to, and so she told him that like her friends planned like the surprise like bachelorette party for her where like they took her to a strip club, but really she like asked her friend to take the fall because she wanted to go to a strip club, and so she like told him like, oh, it's just my friends, but really it was like it was all her idea.
Wait,
and so then he found out later.
How did she think she was gonna get away with that when like there's literally cameras like filming them and stuff? I don't understand.
They didn't show that. They actually didn't show that. No, like you watch like the season, I think they were in a couple different seasons, and so like the first one when you watch it you don't see that. Like you literally just see like that whole thing happen, and he's like, you see the friend taking the fall and the friend talking to him and saying like, I'm sorry, like like we wanted her to have a good bachelorette party, and then her crying over it and being like, I don't want my husband and my best friend not to get along. And then like the next season you see like things are going well and she's like crying and she's just like, there's something like I've been hiding and like I feel so terrible about it. And then they show you like then like I guess the cameras got that, but they didn't show it like the first time around.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so, I feel like that was probably just like the thing for the narrative, like they're like, oh, she's gonna like, because they film like the aftermath or whatever it's called, like where she reveals it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're like, all right, so now we're editing these episodes. We won't put that in right now. We'll put it in later,
I feel like the cameras must have known. Yeah. And that's something I was going to say, like, I wanted to say about the show that I really like, is, like, how how like they have producers go to different countries just for the show. Like I feel like that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Like for them to be able to like orchestrate that, to like be like, okay, we're gonna have you like, you know, like in Russia, we're gonna have you in Ohio, we're gonna have you guys in like Vegas. Like it's just like all over the world. Like they have like their production. Like it's just like crazy to me. And the way that
Yeah.
they like follow people around just to get like the whole story, like it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Even after like when you think that like the relationship is ending or like that it's over, they'll still follow like the foreigner or like the American, and then you'll see like things happen. Like oh my gosh, like there's like this crazy. There's this couple named Varia and Jeffrey, and he was talking to her. She was also from Russia, and so like she had been talking to other Americans as well, like on I guess like there's websites where like if you want to meet somebody from like the Philippines, there's something called like Filipino Cupid, or if you want to meet somebody from like Colombia, there's like Colombia Cupid or whatever. So like I guess there's like it's easy for you to do that. So she was
Mm-hmm.
like on a website where she was like only talking to Americans, and like when Jeffrey finds that out, he automatically assumes like that she wants to go to America for a green card and that he's just like her meal ticket, and he like gets upset.
Mm-hmm.
And then she tells him like she tries to convince him like that's not true, like that she may talk to people from America, but she also has to be attracted to them. Like she's not just gonna like go with anybody just because, and that like she has had relationships and like when she met them or whatever, if they didn't click, like that was it. But with her and him, like she definitely, you know, like felt like an attraction to him, and she wanted a relationship with him. And then he proposes to her. Like things seem to be going like very well. Um, oh, he has a criminal record too, so like he tells her about that. He says like, oh, there's something you need to know. Like I went to prison like when I was younger for like drug. Was it like he was a drug dealer? And then she's like upset because he never told her that. And so she's like, you're over here like calling me out, saying that you think that I'm just using you because like you're an American. When if you would have told me like a long time ago that you had a criminal record and you were a drug dealer and you went to prison, I would have never talked to you. Like never. Like I would have like never had you come all the way to Russia to meet me and like meet my family and like have a relationship. So it's like really if he would have just been honest, like he wouldn't even have had to like, you know, doubt her and say like that he thought that she was just using him, because that wouldn't have supposedly according to her, she would have never been with him.
Mm-hmm.
But she gives him a chance after that, and things are going well, and so then he proposes to her, and then she says like not now. She says like I don't think that like we should do this now because like I just found out about your record, like I feel like we need to get to know each other a little bit more. And he gets like pissed off and he's like mad, and he's just like, oh, I came here for nothing, like you basically told me no. And she's like, no, I said not now. And he's just like no, and he's like mad. And so then he like goes back. I think he like has to go back to America the very next day. And then they're on like on like a van like going somewhere, like it's cool too that you see like the production, like the producers, they always like drive them around everywhere. I feel like that's cool
Mm-hmm.
to see that like they put like cameras in the cars, and like there's just like it's cool to see them being like taken care of by the show. So like
Mm-hmm.
they're transporting them back to like their hotel or whatever, and she's like she sees some restaurant or bar that she knows, and she's like, oh, next time you come we should definitely go there. And he's just like, why would I come again? And she's just like, what? And he's just like, why would I come again? Like so dumb or whatever. And she's like, what the heck, dude? Like that was so harsh. And she's just like, oh. And he's just like, yeah, that's ridiculous. Like I'll never come again. It's like my last time coming here. This was a joke. And then
Mm-hmm.
you're just like, whoa, like he just because she said not now, like he's pissed off. He like never wants to see her again. Like if everything that they went through, you know, like it didn't matter. Like they had sex, like they, you know what I mean? Like how
Yeah.
could you just like abandon somebody like that? Supposedly you liked her, supposedly you loved her, and now all of a sudden because she said not now, you're just okay, I'm done here. Like I never want to see you again. Like this is over. Like contract is over. You know what I mean? It's like what? Like that's not how things work, but that's how it worked in his mind. And she
Mm-hmm.
was like, I still want to see you again. Like I hope this isn't our end. And he's just like, this is our end. Like, I'm telling you, like, I'm never coming here again. I'm going back to Tennessee and I'm going to live my life and I'm going to move on and you should do the same. And she's like kind of sad and like crying, like when she's dropping him off at the airport. And then he's just like, okay, bye. He hugs her and he walks off into the airport. And then she's looking at the cameras and she's saying like, you know, like, what did I do? Like, I don't want to never see him again. Like, I do care about him. Like, did I make a mistake saying like not now? Like, he is the person I want to be with. So like, why did I say not now? Like, I don't know. And so then she's just like looks at the cameras and then she's like runs like into the airport and she's just like, you know, chasing after him. Like, it's like this like moment. And she's like running and running and
So dumb.
she catches up to him and he's just like, you know, turns around and she hugs him, you know, like jumps on him, hugs him, and she's crying. And she doesn't really cry. Like, throughout the whole time you see her, like, she's Russian. So, like I said, they're very, like, closed off with their emotions. Like, she expresses herself in a way with words that makes a lot of sense. And she's expressive with her face and stuff. But you never really see her, like, get emotional. So when you see her, you know, like, crying and stuff, you're just like, oh, my gosh, like, this is, like, insane. And then she's, like, she tells him, like, I love you, like, you know, like, I'm sorry, like I want to be with you. I don't want to not see you again. And he's just like, he kind of like gets her off of him. Like, he kind of like, you know, like she's like hugging him and he takes her arms like off of him. And he's just kind of like, you know, like, I think you're having like a moment right now. Like, I think that, you know, like, I think you're going through something. Like, you don't mean that. Like, you said no to me and like, that was it. And I don't want you to just like feel bad and change your mind. Like, like, just because like you're going through this, you know, regret like right now, but I feel like you need to think about it. And like right now, I already told you I'm going back home and I'm moving on, and I think you should do the same. And it just like cuts her off like that, and he's just like, no, like I'm not doing this. And she's like sad and she walks off. And so that's it, right? Like, their relationship's over, like, according to like what you saw and everything. Like, he's telling us like she blew her chance, like she really hurt me. I can't just like, you know, like pretend like she didn't hurt me. Like, I want a woman who says yes when I ask them to marry me. I don't want a woman who's gonna like say they don't know and they need to think about it. Like, that's not what I want, he says. And he's just like, she has no idea how bad she hurt me. And you're just like, I was annoyed with him. Like, I was just like, first of all, you lie to her. Like, I feel like she has a right to be like upset and like to be doubting like the situation. Like, I feel like he owes her that, like, to be like, okay, I understand she said not now. She's not saying never. She's just saying, like, we need to get to know each other a little bit more. Like, I feel like for him, because he never seen her before, and I think he spent maybe, like, I don't know, I think it was, like, a couple months with her in Russia. I feel like a couple months of knowing somebody actually in person, that really isn't enough time to propose to somebody, in my opinion. Like, I feel like, yes, he's talked to her on the phone and like through messaging for years, but like it's different to know somebody in person. So
Well, I think like I'm pretty sure like she had already said yes beforehand, right? Isn't that like why?
No. She never said yes beforehand. They talked and they were like in this like relationship over the phone, and he went to visit her, and I think they talked about like eventually getting married and her coming over to America and stuff like that. But like, I think that when he didn't tell her about his criminal past, that changed things for her because she didn't know that. And so, like, yeah, like she said it herself, like,
okay, because
there was more to think
like,
about.
The show is called like 90 Day Fiance, so I assumed that like they had already like said yes beforehand, and this is just kind of like the time in between. Never mind.
Oh no, because that one is 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. So that's why they're not married yet. Like, this show with George and Anfisa, they were already married, and I don't think they were on before the 90 days. You didn't see that. So yeah, anyways, I forgot to say that was before. So yeah, so then like, anyways, like, going back to like with production, like how I really like that they like follow up with people after that. When it seemed to be like they were over and like she just stays in Russia and he goes back to Tennessee, I assumed like that was gonna be it. Like, I was just like, I guess they're off the show. But then no, like the cameras like still followed Jeffrey like in Tennessee. And they showed us like what he was like up to. Like, he goes back home, he talks to his children, he has like 2 sons, and they were like, well, how did it go? And he tells them like, oh yeah, like she said no to me, and like like, I don't know, I guess like she didn't want to marry me, and he was just like, I guess I'm just gonna have to like move on and just forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he had like a friend who like went before he went to Russia. She was telling him, she was like, I don't know why you can't just like meet somebody like in your hometown. And he's like, you know, like somebody that's like 2 feet away from you. And he looks at her and she's like me. And he's just kind of like, oh my gosh, like, because his friend was like, you know, like hitting on him and telling him like, why don't you date me? Like, I'm good enough. And he was just like, and then he tells the cameras like, oh, she's been like my good friend for years. Like, we actually dated at one point in the past, but it didn't work out, and timing just wasn't right. And he's just like, but we've always, cared about each other. And so, yeah. And so when he's like in Russia and having problems, he like calls her and he tells her like the issues, and she's just like, I hope that like things don't really work out between you guys, because like obviously I have like my own reasons for why I want you to come back. And she's like, but I want you to be happy. Like, I guess I hope you work it out or whatever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she does and she doesn't, because she wants him. So then when he comes back home and he's like hurt, the cameras like show you that he's like talking to her, and then like that he like pursues a relationship with her, and he takes her out like on dates, and like it seems like they're dating now. And then like she asks him stuff like, so you and Varya, like, you guys are over, right? Like, there's no communication between you guys. And he's like, well, she messages me but I don't reply, and like, yeah, like it's over between us. Like, I'm just trying to move on. Like, I want to see where this goes and stuff. And then like you see the cameras again, and they're like with Varya in Russia. And I guess it's been like a couple weeks, like since he got back, and like he's been dating his friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then like she tells the cameras, and she's like, she has her luggage and she has everything set, and she's like a plane ticket, and she's like, I'm going to visit Jeffrey, and she's just like, I'm gonna surprise him, and I
Oh
hope he
no.
sees she's like, I hope he sees that like I'm very serious, and like, that like I want to like be with him, and that maybe I made a mistake, and like
So are the camera people?
yeah.
Because I have to think that they're in contact with the other camera people in America, right? Are they not telling
Ah,
her or what? Like, does she like what's going on there?
what do you mean?
So like the camera people in Russia, I'm assuming
Uh-huh.
they have to be in contact with the camera people from America, right?
I guess so.
So they should probably know that he's dating his friend, right?
Funny because I seen like memes, and they're just like TLC like tells you to like pursue like Jeffrey, like, or after like TLC knows, right? Like, and,
Yeah.
and they're like evil because like they're like pushing her, right? They probably like told her like, you should go to America, but they know that like she's gonna be like heartbroken or whatever. It's just like evil, but yeah, like they know. And so like she's like telling the cameras, and she's like, I'm going to go visit Jeffrey, and like, yeah, like she shows up to his doorstep in the morning, and like he's with this girl, like she like spent the night there, and she sees her in there, and the girl is just like, what the heck are you doing here? Like, what's going on? Like, the new girlfriend, and he's just like, oh my gosh, like he's so confused, and he's like, what are you doing here? And she's just like, I've been messaging you, like I told you like I was coming, and he's like, I haven't like been replying to you, and she's like, I know. And she's just like, I don't know why. And he's just like, maybe like that's a sign that I don't want to talk to you. And she's just kind of like, but like I'm here, like. And he's just like, did you get a hotel? And she's just like, no. And she's like, I thought I was gonna stay here, like I thought you would like welcome me in. And he's just like, oh my gosh. And then the girlfriend, she gets her things, and she's like super upset. And then she grabs like flowers, and like I guess he had given her flowers like the night before, and she's just like, yeah, like, see, like what are you doing here? And then like Varya's just like, he doesn't want you, like he doesn't love you. And then like the girl like leaves, and then she comes back, like she forgets something, and Varya's just like, what, you forget your panties? And it's just like this like huge like, like drama. And then the girlfriend's talking to the cameras, and she's just like, I don't know like what's going on, like I hate that Jeffrey's just standing there, he's not even like standing up for me, like I don't know what he wants. And she's crying, and she's just like, I this would be a lot easier if I just knew what he wanted. Like, does he want to be with me? Does he want to be with her? Like, I thought things were over. And she just like leaves. And then like he asks like Varia to come in, and they're talking, and she's just like she said she never stopped having feelings for him, and that and he's like, so what now? All of a sudden now you want to have a relationship with me? Like now you're open to this? And she's like, I never said that I wasn't. And he was just like yeah, I feel like he just didn't pay attention to that. Like he heard no, but she said not now, and she never once said she was over him, and he never once told her that he was moving on. And so it's really interesting to see that he like does get back with Varia. He like doesn't get back with his girlfriend anymore. Like right after that, like I feel like it's like very interesting that that girl, she knew that Varia, like she had a way bigger place in his heart than she did.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as she showed up, she had to like step aside. And like he took Varia like right back. And I was just like, damn, like that sucks. But like the friend must have known, you know, like she was just desperate. Like she obviously had feelings for him this whole time, and she didn't care about being the rebound. And like, yeah, he just went right back to Varia, and like she told him like she would have like said yes if like he would ask her to marry him like now, but he was still kind of like, I guess.
Now I'm saying not now.
Yeah, and that's what happened. And she was just like, oh my gosh, like if I go back to Russia without a ring, like I don't think this relationship's gonna work. And it's like when he was there, he was like, if I don't put this ring on her, I don't think this is gonna work. And so you're just like, oh my gosh. But then like shortly after, he asks her to marry him again, and she says yes. And you're just kind of like, oh thank gosh, like that was good. And so then they got engaged again. And I think there's more to their story, but I don't think that the camera, like the show, has more of them on it. But if you go on the internet, you see like on Instagram that I guess like his criminal record is like a lot bigger than what he told her. I don't know too much about it, but like I need to do more research. But like he has lied. Like he didn't just go to prison for drug dealing. I think he has like current like charges against him right now. But yeah, like a lot of these people on the show have a criminal record.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you a list of like it's like where all the couples are at now.
Okay.
Like go through them and let me know if there's any that if you're like surprised that they're still together or something. 'Cause a surprising amount of them are like still together. It's shocking to me, but yeah. One couple that I am surprised is still together is Mike and Aziza. Mike is the creepiest dude on the planet. I don't understand how.
You remember that, huh? When he was like, "We're supposed to have sex the first night you got here."
Yeah, and
remember
creepy,
that was him.
His creepy like smile where you can tell he's so pissed off. But he's trying to not pretend. He's trying to pretend he's not pissed off.
He's
like, oh
psychopath.
God.
Yeah, they're married and they have a kid. I saw that recently and I was just like, oh, that's creepy.
Yeah. Oh man. And then like I saw this clip of them where they're going to like different venues like where they want to get married, and then like she's like, hey, like I don't like this venue or whatever, and then he's like, just try the food, and then she like doesn't want to try the food, and then it's like this like huge deal, and it's just like, oh no. Like why are they together?
She says she doesn't eat a lot or something like that, right?
Yeah.
That she's like shy or she doesn't like to eat in front of people. She's kind of weird too.
Yeah, see, yeah, it was kind of odd, but
because like, she said like she didn't want to eat in front of him. I remember that.
Yeah, they both seem so weird, and I don't like it. They're creepy.
Yeah, a lot of these ones are still married, and I feel like you have to watch the show to see like why. I feel bad that Anfisa and George are not together. That actually makes me sad.
Why?
I don't know.
They're both horrible. I don't know why you want them to be together.
Ship them.
Huh?
They were good together.
They were not good together. She's literally breaking his phones and keying his car, and he's literally like lying about how much money he has.
She's good. Good person.
You're crazy.
It says here that Chantel and Pedro are still together. I like that. I like seeing that.
Wait, isn't that they're the ones that are getting the spin-off, right? Or they already got a spin-off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have to see it. It's good.
Yeah.
Nicole and Azen. Do you know about them?
Yeah. Okay, this is one of the things I want to talk about too. So there's a part where I guess she lied about her weight, right? That she was bigger than he thought she was. And then there's a part where he tells her to go to the gym, and it's like a big fight between them. So I got
Yeah.
a question: if your partner is overweight and unhealthy, how do you get them to like get healthier without it being like a bad thing? You know what I mean? Because like the way he did it, like it definitely wasn't like ideal. Because he was literally just like, you need to go to the gym or something like that. Like, do you remember that?
Yeah. I
Like,
kind of do. I feel like the best way to do that is probably to go together. To say like, "Oh, let's go together to the gym."
well, I think it would come off. I think at least in their scenario, I think she would 100% be like, "What the fuck? Like, you saying I'm fat?" Like the same thing, basically. You know?
Yeah, because I feel like she doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to address that she's overweight. She doesn't want the attention on that.
Yeah.
But she's one of those people that they don't want to. They don't want help. They don't want to deal with it. They just don't want to talk about it. So, in her case, I feel like nothing he would say, even if he said it in a better way, I don't think that it would really matter.
Yeah. This is one of the
But
most like depressing couples, just because like she like cheated on him, and then he was
and then
still
he
just
kind
there.
of cheated on her. After
Yeah.
that, he kind of got even. Yeah, and she has spent like thousands of dollars on like sending him money for himself. And then they were supposed to get married at one point, and she was gonna go to Morocco, and like she told her family she was gonna get married. She told his family from like all over the world or whatever. People were gonna fly in to go to Morocco to see her get married, right?
Hmm.
And then they decide that they don't want to have the wedding anymore because it's supposedly too much money, and that they're gonna use the money to open up a shop in Morocco. And so she tells her family that, and they're kind of like annoyed, and his family's annoyed because they already had like everything set. They had like the venue, she had a dress, like everything, and they canceled it. And supposedly because like they were gonna make more money with like having the shop or whatever. And then later at the tell-all, truth comes out that like there is no shop. There's nothing like happening, and they're like, where is that money? Like, where is the thousands of dollars? Where are they? And they like didn't even address it. They like dodged the question somehow. So it's like, where's this money going?
Yeah. And then do you remember when like they were in Morocco? And I'm assuming like Morocco is like a country that's like very like conservative. You're not supposed to like,
Yeah.
yeah. And then she was like trying to hug him, and he was trying to tell her like stop, and then she was like, hug me. Like she got all mad. I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, like why doesn't she
I
listen?
mean,
I'm
I feel
I'm
like
assuming like it's like really bad to like do that over there. But
yeah, but I feel like also like that he uses that for his advantage because he doesn't want to like be with her.
yeah, I mean maybe, but still. Um So, there's like a few other, I guess, like spin-offs that they're making according to Wikipedia. Have you heard about any of them, or are you excited about any of them, or anything?
I think there's like a new one called like 90 Day Fiance, the other way or something like that. I'm not too sure. I haven't seen it, but it looks like there are like people that they've already been on the show before, like Paul and Karini. I think they're coming out on this new one called The Other Way or something like that.
There's also like the quarantine edition, which is like a this is like pretty new.
Yeah, I heard about that. I haven't seen it because I feel like there's an order to watching the show. Like if you watch like 90 Day Fiance, the main one, and you haven't seen before the 90 days, then you're not familiar with like how they got there.
Mm.
Um or like Happily Ever After too. Like that one is like if you watch that, like you're watching stuff couples that you've never even heard of before. So I'm trying to watch it by like seeing before the 90 days and then continuing it on that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's so many like spin-offs.
Yeah, I'm looking through the Wikipedia right now. There's like so many.
I know.
Well,
And like a lot of it almost seems kind of like you're watching the same thing because the stories are very similar, but there's always new things to different people's stories.
I mean, I feel like 75% of the stories, it's some weird guy trying to get some young girl, and
Mhm.
yeah, that's usually it. Like, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's like usually like some dad, and he's just like him and his wife have been divorced or whatever, and then he's just like, I want somebody who's as young as my daughter, and he just kind of doesn't want to deal with his own family, you know?
Yeah. But I
Uh,
mean like the stories are very similar, right? But I feel like there's always different things that happen.
hmm Who do you think is the worst couple on the show?
Hmm. I don't know, they're all bad, but I like them, so I don't know what you mean.
Like who's the
Like the least interesting?
like no, I want like the most like toxic couple that like
The most toxic.
the biggest train wreck of a couple.
Probably like anything that has to do with Darcy. She is on it in the beginning of the Before the 90 Days, and then she's in it season 4 of Before the 90 Days, which is the newest season, with a new guy.
Oh,
And she's in it twice because she's trying to pursue this like foreign love, and she's like really crazy, and she constantly is asking whoever she's with when they're gonna propose to her, constantly. Like if you could do like a drinking game out of it, like drink every time she brings up marriage, and you'd be like drunk. It just in one episode. So it's like really bad.
She's getting a spin-off too. There's a show called Darcy and Stacy.
Oh my gosh! She has a twin sister. To make it even worse, there's 2 of them.
Oh, is Stacy the twin?
Mm-hmm.
I see.
So bad. She was dating me and my mom, because we saw season 4 of 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days, because I just wanted to see the Ed stuff, and that's the one that he was in. So I went and like saw that, and then I went back to see season 1 of that spinoff, and that's when I see like that she had a relationship before the one on the 4th season, and it was with this guy named Jesse, and he was 24, and she was 42 at the time.
Oh,
Not gross.
Yeah.
She was old enough to be his mother.
There's some bigger age differences with the guys, hasn't there?
But for some reason, it just seems so much worse. Because she's so immature compared to him. Like if you see their dynamic, you're just kind of like, how in the world is he 24 and she's 42? He looks like he's the 42-year-old and she's a 24-year-old. That's why.
Do you remember that one guy who he was dating? I think it was like a Filipino girl, and then she was younger than his daughter. Do you remember that?
Well, that's with Ed's situation too.
Was Rose younger than his daughter too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
I don't know if you're thinking about that.
No, there's another one where it's like an older white guy and then a Filipino girl, and then like she's like he tells her to not touch the windows because she'll leave fingerprints. Do you remember this at all?
Like vaguely remember that. I can't remember who it was though.
I think this is the one where I think he wanted her to get on birth control, and that was like a big deal too. I think this is the same couple.
Oh, I can't remember who that is. It must have been like one of the like 90-day main show ones, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, oh my gosh, if they actually do this whole like 90-day like Darcy stuff spinoff, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
is this like confirmed?
Yeah, it comes out in August.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm just like, I don't want to watch it, but like I'm gonna watch. It's so bad.
That's this whole show, dude.
It's like, yeah, like a train wreck. Like you can't like stop looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be so good because even like when I watch like the Before the 90 Days, I just kind of want to forward to her scenes because like it's the craziest thing.
Do you know what the spinoff B90 Strikes Back is?
I think there's like an Ed Strikes Back one. Is that what it is? There's like an Ed, like Big Ed Strikes Back.
Oh,
that's what that is.
I think this is probably what this is. Yeah, so he has his own spinoff.
Yeah, I haven't seen that though. I don't know what that's about.
Okay, I got one last thing for you. You ready?
What?
Mix and match a couple, like pick a guy, pick a girl, and try to create just the worst couple imaginable.
Like Ed and Darcy. That would be crazy.
That would be pretty funny.
Or like I thought about, because there was this one guy who had seemed like he was getting catfished, and he invested like a lot of money into it, and he'd never seen her before, and he was from Florida. And then there was this other woman named Yolanda, and she was being catfished for like many years too, and she never met the guy. So it was just like they should just get together because at least we know that they're both real, and they both live in Florida, and they're trying to find love. I'm just like, can somebody just like put them together?
That would be funny. I feel like, I mean, from the ones that I know, I think you gotta do Anfisa and Big Ed, dude. That's like a perfect spin-off, don't you think?
There's no like ew. The only reason why I'm okay with her and George is because I could sense there's still some attraction there. She would not be attracted to Ed.
I mean, if he has money, does Ed have money? Is he like wealthy or?
I don't think he has that much money, and he lives in San Diego. He said that he spent, I think he said like $2,000 on the engagement ring, and that was kind of a lot of money for him. So I feel like he doesn't have a lot of money. If he's saying that
Yeah.
$2,000 on a wedding, on an engagement ring, is a lot of money, I feel like that's pretty average
Hmm.
for like a basic ring.
Yeah. I mean, San Diego. I think it's pretty expensive to live there, right? San Diego. I would think so.
It is, but compared to this other guy, the guy that I'm telling you was like being scammed for many years. He had invested. He said, what did he say? Like at least $500,000 into
Oh
like this
no,
relationship. Yeah,
that's so sad.
yeah. So people were like, dude, this guy like what do you do, David? Like that's crazy. And that's when Ed was just kind of like, yeah, like I spent $2,000 on a ring, and I thought that was expensive. So
Hmm.
I don't know. But yeah, just like I feel like it's a really special show because I just really like how the cameras like follow them around, and like they just give you like such a good insight in their relationship. And I feel like because I am really interested in like the psychology of people, I like to watch it because I just, if I could be there for them and talk to these people, to talk some sense into them, I would. And so I just like to watch it to just be like, oh my gosh, like if I could help you, I would.
Yeah. All right.
But
So
yeah.
how where would somebody watch 90 Day Fiance?
Oh, on you could watch it on Hulu, or if you have cable, you could watch it on TLC. Yeah.
All right. I thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me on.